Update. Am I the a-hole for being angry at my girlfriend for basically abandoning me during our couple vacation? Original post. I, 27 male, and my girlfriend, 26 female, have been together for 4 years and have lived together for nearly 2 years. Recently, due to our work schedules, we haven't been able to go out much. My girlfriend loves skiing. I'm a newbie. Hiking and climbing. I can't do this due to my fear of heights. A few weeks ago was her birthday. I bought her a necklace and proposed that we organize a couple's trip to the mountains. I paid for it. This was the schedule we came up with. Day 1, skiing separately. Day 2, skiing alone and visiting a particular tourist spot we saw on the internet in the evening. Day 3, hiking together while chatting. Day 4, visiting the nearby town. Day 5, visiting another tourist spot and more generally, spending free time together. Day 6, going back home. 1 week before our trip, she informed me that she had invited one of her friends and her friend's boyfriend to come with us. She would pay for their hotel and they would pay for the rest. I was a bit upset because she didn't even ask me. Despite the schedule, this is how we actually spent the days. Day 1, skiing. Day 2, skiing. Day 3, hiking. She talked to her friend the whole time. Day 4, skiing and visiting the nearby town as a group. Day 5, she found out there was a climbing spot nearby and decided to go there in the morning. She was supposed to come back at 1 p.m. but returned in the evening. Day 6, we went back home. During the whole trip, I asked her multiple times if we could do something together as a couple, and every time she told me we would spend the 5th day alone together. That didn't happen, so we basically spent 0 time together. I tried to let it go, but once we got home, she realized I was upset. She insisted, so I told her that I was happy she had fun, but upset that our couple's trip became a group trip in which she either abandoned or ignored me. She got angry, claiming that since this was supposed to be her birthday trip, she had the right to decide what she wanted to do. Am I the a-hole for being angry over what happened? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Your girlfriend sucks. It may have been her present, but it was a specific present, a couple's trip. That she invited her friend in the first place was an a-hole move. Spending the week with her instead of you was the equivalent of her screaming in your face that she has no interest in you or spending time with you. That she has no better explanation beyond saying she wasn't wrong? Sorry, but she's done with you. Maybe she wanted a free trip. Maybe she can't afford to live on her own yet. Maybe she just doesn't know how to tell you, but she's avoiding being alone with you for a reason. We both have jobs that pay us enough to not worry about money. About the rest, you may be right. Not the a-hole. She outright dismissed your feelings and decided to invite her friends. I get you've been together this long, but I don't see how your relationship can improve after this. This trip was supposed to be for the two of you, and yet others joined in? I can't imagine what would happen if you had a honeymoon with her. She would have invited her friends. I didn't want to reveal this bit since it wasn't exactly a core point for this post, but I can't imagine what would happen if you had a honeymoon with her. She would have invited her friends. I had bought a ring before her birthday, and I intended to propose to her on this trip. I decided to wait when she invited her friends, but I brought the ring anyway, just in case the right moment came. I guess fate wanted to send me a message. My God, this trip is a big red flag. The signs are right in front of you. The fact that you didn't even get a date to yourself and your girlfriend speaks volumes about your relationship. Do not marry this woman. The idea of marriage has already gone down the ditch. Now for the update. I stayed at a friend's house for the last couple of days. I didn't have the strength to deal with my girlfriend. I read all your comments and advice yesterday. I went back home today and waited in the living room for her to come back. I was obviously still upset, but I tried to stay calm and ask her how she felt about the trip and about what I had told her after we came back. She reiterated that she thought I was exaggerating, that the trip was a success, and that everybody had fun. I reminded her that we had originally agreed this was supposed to be a trip for us to spend some time together. I asked her if she really thought that, even from that point of view, the trip had been a success. She hesitated, but said that we would have plenty of time to spend together in the future. I told her that I doubted it and showed her the engagement ring I had bought to propose to her. I explained that before the trip. I was sure she was the woman I wanted to spend my whole life with, but that after what happened, I reflected deeply on our relationship and realized that it wasn't working out. I explained how much I had sacrificed for her in the past, only to be left alone when I needed help, and how much what she did on the trip hurt me. She tried to say something, but I told her I was sick of listening to her and never being listened to. I told her I didn't want to listen to her now and probably not in the near future either. We broke up. The house is mine, so she went to stay with a friend. I wanted to thank all the people who commented under the original post for the advice. Thank you and goodbye. You did the right thing. Did she just accept that you broke up and still thought she was right? Or did she saw that she messed up and been at least remorseful? And how did she reacted when she saw the ring? She said we could still be together and that she would try to fix things in some way. I'd like to know how she wants to fix this because I can't see any way besides time traveling. I don't know, and to be sincere, I don't care anymore. Just the thought that I wasted my only vacation for the next 5 months being the driver and doormat for her and her friends make my blood boil. Tomorrow I have to go back to work, and I just want to think about something else and move on with my life. Has this been the way she's always treated you throughout the relationship? Sort of dismissive of you, or just recently? She was always a bit self-centered, but we originally used to support each other. In the last few months, though, her problems were our problems, and my problems were my problems. You dodged a bullet. She was that close to a ring in a house? Stay strong. She's coming back. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Yup, she is coming back. OP leopards don't change their spots, but can rearrange them to look differently. I dated a guy like her, tried to come back for 6 months. Wouldn't talk to him, showed up at my front door and said I was 100% correct, and he has changed. Another 4 months of trying to convince me, I finally gave in. I shouldn't have. The only guy I have ever taken back, and I learned my lesson. He ended up changing my life forever and left. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to be a stepfather to my fiancé's children? My daughter made this account for me because she's into the whole Reddit advice thing and recommended it to me. We're also not in the US. I'm a 47-year-old male with 2 children, one son Jack, 20, and one daughter Ella, 13, from my late wife. My wife died while giving birth to our daughter due to some complications during the process. Jack was 7 when my daughter was born, and I immediately had him in therapy to help with the grief of losing his mother because I didn't want him to blame his sister. It worked very well because my son loves his baby sister to bits and has never, not even in an argument, held my wife's death over her. Before I started dating, I asked my children if they were okay with it. I gave them as much time as they wanted to think about it with no pressure. They said they were okay with it after having secret meetings in their rooms and making little plans and stuff, which I thought was very cute. Now onto the current issue. I've been with my fiancé for 3 years total, engaged for 6 months. She moved into my house after I proposed with her 2 children, a 17-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, because it was much bigger and had more room. As the relationship got serious, I suggested we sit down and ask the children if they wanted a step-parent or just a parent-spouse type relationship going forward. Both sets of children emphasized the parent-spouse relationship, which my fiancé and I respected. My fiancé and I also decided that we would be taking care of our respective children financially, socially, etc. This didn't mean not helping each other occasionally, but we were each responsible for our own children. We both didn't want more children, and I got a vasectomy to prevent any accidental pregnancies. This worked okay for the first few months of us living together. My fiancé was responsible for the food, laundry, school, etc. for her children, while I was responsible for the same for mine. My fiancé has a 9-to-5 job, while I run my own business, so I often have more free time compared to her. The main issues started on Jack's 20th birthday, which was a month ago. I got him a brand new car of his choice with modifications and stuff. He was stuck having to drive his sister to ballet practice, but he sucked it up for his dream car. Everything was okay at the birthday dinner, but later, when it was just me and my fiancé in our bedroom, she said we needed to talk. Apparently her children want me to be their stepfather now, because they've seen how much I love my own children. They want to join my children and me on the trips we take around the world, and they want to get cool gifts too. Now, I would have been okay with this, but the way she worded it just rubbed me the wrong way. She was only talking about the trips and the gifts, nothing more. She didn't say anything about getting to know each other better, just trips and gifts. Now, the trips I take with my kids are to visit their maternal family around the world. They live in 3 countries, and I've always made sure that my children have had a close relationship with all of them. As for the gifts, my children mostly only get gifts on birthdays, Christmas, or if they've achieved one of the goals set for them in school or extracurriculars. Like when Ella won a ballet competition last year and I got her a new phone, stuff like that. I told my fiancé flat out that it looked like her children only wanted me as a stepfather to get gifts and be invited on trips. I said that while I understood they were children, it was her job to correct them and tell them that forming relationships just to use people isn't a nice thing to do. I would have been happy to form a relationship with them, but the fact that their motives were only expensive gifts was absolutely disgusting, especially since she was encouraging it. She tried backtracking by saying that they are children and young and that they didn't know better. She also tried using the fact that she doesn't make as much as me and can't spoil them like I can to guilt me. But I wouldn't budge, because in my opinion, she's the one who's supposed to tell them better. She's supposed to teach them how wrong this mindset is. Besides, we had a prior agreement. My fiancé has tried bringing this up again, but I refuse to change my mind. I've also talked to my children, who said that they would not really be happy if my fiancé's children called me dad. So that's only made me a little more firm in my decision. My children have always come first to me and always will. However, with how pushy my fiancé is being, I've started to doubt if maybe I'm the one in the wrong and being stubborn for no reason. So, random people on the internet, am I the a-hole for refusing to be a stepfather to my fiancé's children? This isn't going to work. The 2 of you should not be living together until all of the children are adults. Absolutely my first thought. You are either going to have to give in and be everyone's sugar daddy, or tell fiancé that she needs to move out and continue to take care of her own kids, because you are not their parent and do not want to be taken advantage of by all of them. Agree, he's not responsible for his fiancé's kids at all, and both parties agreed to that. Now the fiancé and her kids are unilaterally trying to change the rules in a way that OP and his kids don't like. This relationship is not going to work out in the long run, because either the fiancé and her kids will develop resentment if OP doesn't fall in line, or OP and his kids will develop resentment if he does. This is a no-win situation. You 2 are not compatible. You would be her kid's stepfather. If that's something you can't do, then you 2 should not get married. Don't date people with kids if you're not ready to step up and be a part of their lives. They are a package deal. That's the thing though, she only talked about me being a stepfather to her children. There was no talk about her wanting to be a stepmother to mine. I mean, the package deal thing should go both ways then, shouldn't it? Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to break up with my girlfriend because my dad got engaged to her mom? I, 17 male, started dating my girlfriend Noah, 17 female, 18 months ago. A few months after we started dating, we found out my dad and her mom were dating. We hadn't done the meet the parent or kid stuff yet, and when we did, that's how we found out. My dad and Noah's mom were angry when they realized Noah and I were dating. They told us we needed to end it because the 2 of them were serious about each other. We told them we weren't breaking up for them. I told my dad I loved Noah and wouldn't break up with her for any dumb reason. My dad and Noah's mom tried to make things awkward for us. They started calling us siblings and introducing us to others as step-siblings. They even talked about trying IVF to have a baby together. But Noah and I kept dating. We made them uncomfortable every time we kissed or held hands. Then the awkwardness for my dad and Noah's mom went up when they found out we were each other's first time. They didn't move in together as soon as they wanted because they didn't want us living together. But then they decided the societal pressure to break up would increase if we lived as siblings. It didn't, so then they got engaged, but we're still together. My dad and her mom are more persistent now because they don't want us to be dating at their wedding, and they want to get married before summer next year. They try to make us feel weird about being together, but I don't. She's not my sister, she's not my sibling, and even if my dad marries her mom, she won't be my family like they think. To get back at them, Noah pretended we were going to elope once we're both 18, which is a few months away since we share a birthday month. My dad didn't freak out, but her mom did. She called us sick and disgusting and told us their relationship should take priority over ours. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. What is their deal here? You both started dating long before they got together. The whole reason for siblings not to date is genetic, as in, if two genetically related siblings had kids, the odds for mutations are much higher. You two are not genetically related, so they are being ridiculous. I do like the idea of posting your anniversary. And if these idiots keep it up, find somewhere to live together next year. In other words, move out and go permanently no contact with both of them. Find a roommate if necessary. And don't worry about college, because that would be an excellent reason for your a-hole parents to try to insist you not date. Their deal is they find it weird. They see us as siblings even though we met in the 8th grade. Not because of them, but because she moved here and started school with me. We started dating 18 months ago, before we even knew her mom and my dad were dating. It's so weird to me that they're weirded out by it so much, but they are. Not the a-hole, but I think you and your girlfriend should post online for family to see something about your 1.5-year anniversary. Post a lot about how long you've been dating. Always reference the timeline. So when friends and family see this, they will begin to do the math that your relationship is older than your parents' relationship. That way, your parents will be considered the weird ones for dating their children's respective parents. It would be nice to throw in that they eloped at 18 and there's a baby on the way. It would totally mess with the parents' relationship and their future wedding. Step-siblings aren't siblings in any legal sense. It's a term created to describe a relationship in a blended family. There are no bars to relationships or marriage, and there have been many cases where parents get together with their kid's partner's parent. Most times it's just a fun fact, but sometimes the parents try to make it weird, as they are doing here. All they are doing is pushing you two closer together. There's nothing like us against the world to keep people together. Funniest part is they make it weirder for themselves than for us. The more they've pushed, the more unhappy they become that we're still together. And we're over here loving each other, not feeling uncomfortable about our relationship. The only discomfort comes from the adults.